Okay, I'm going to do another test on Tenacity. I did a previous one and everybody said I'm doing it wrong, so let's just verify what's going on and see how the results are. Alright, so start with, here's our temperature. 74 degrees. The grass was cut 2 days ago. This is July 8th. And it's going to get up to 80 degrees today. There is no rain in the near forecast. So what I'm using, surfactant, Tenacity, and the dye. I'm going to mix up 1 gallon of it. I've got an area staked off, and we're going to give it a try. So let's start mixing this stuff up. First, shake. Shake, 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 shake. All right. Next, I'll get this on my head. Okay. Next, it says for 1 gallon of water, or excuse me, for 2 gallons of water, use 1 teaspoon. All right. I don't want to use 2 gallons of water because I'm not going to be doing that much. I'm going to use 1 teaspoon and, excuse me, I guess a half a teaspoon. Take it some more. All right, so let's get this in. It's 2 teaspoons. I'm going to use a half. All right, everybody see this? It's actually a little more than a half a teaspoon. This goes in. Okay, there we go. And for this, let's see. I'm going to be using, it says to use 3 teaspoons with 2 gallons of water, so I'm going to be using 1.5 teaspoons. Oops. Let's shake this up too. Okay, and about 1.5 teaspoons. Now, as far as the dye goes, I can never see it. Suggestions were made to use more dye. Since this doesn't affect the product at all, I'll put some more dye in there than I normally would. All right, there's almost 2. Okay. Having done all that, I'm going to add 1 gallon of water. Okay, we got 1 gallon of water. Let's go put it on the weeds. Right, here's the area. I'm going to do this whole thing back here, but we're just going to concentrate on this ground ivy. pump this up. So, okay, there we go. So let's give it a test. Now we got some over here on this side, on the left side, that I'm not going to get. I'm not going to spray that. I'm just going to spray over here inside. Okay, it's plenty wet. Plenty wet. All right. Yeah, a lot of dye in here, so you'll be able to see it clearly. Again, if you follow the directions, you don't see any dye. So you got to add more. Okay. Just keep going. There you go. Shake it up again. Okay. That's everything within this perimeter. Everything, all right? On this side, I didn't do it. All right. So I'm going to continue on with the rest of the lawn. I'm going to leave this here now for 2 weeks, and then we'll come back right up to here. Everything's done. So 2 weeks from now, we're going to come back. We're going to check it out. So I'll just continue with the rest of the weeds. I'm going to shut the camera off at this point, though. Alright, before I go, let's show you. I'm doing some other weeds in an area. This is where the professional lawn guy couldn't come because it's too close to the creek. So I'm doing these other ones. These are, you know, your common weeds. This is clover and whatever this stuff is. These things here. Alright. Get a good coating on them. This stuff here. Alright, so these are different kinds of weeds too. So we'll check these out later. Giving everything a thorough coat. Now this is what the whole lawn was like last year. And when the professional came a few weeks ago, these were dead within 2 days. Dead or dying. Alright, so we're going to see what 2 weeks does to them. And if you haven't seen my other video, take a look at it. It's search for Tenacity or search for my name and it should come up. And you'll see what the result was. And I did that 3 times. Alright. But this is pretty much what the lawn looked like last year. Just all this area here. Alright. Once the professional came in, for $25 more than this stuff, here's your dead weeds all over. Okay, some he didn't get, but for the most part they're all gone. So all right, so let me shut okay, here we are exactly 2 weeks later. This is July 22nd. I don't know if you can see the weather. It's 75 degrees, partly cloudy, sunny all day long. I'm going to give the second application of Tenacity, and we'll see what happens. In a minute I'll show you what happened with the first. I'm doing the same area. You can see some of the grasses turn green where I was doing it before. Alright, so here's the mixture. Shake it all up. Tenacity. This time I'm going to do 2 gallons instead of 1 gallon. Alright, so that means I need to use an ounce of Tenacity, or a teaspoon. So Now I don't know how much you can see on my head mount with a camera. It's kind of difficult to judge what's being shown and what isn't being shown. Okay, so let's get one teaspoon, I mean. There you go, 1 teaspoon. You can see it because it has the dye in it already from previous use. Okay, 1 teaspoon, actually just a shade more. All right, and next we got the suffocant. All right, shake that up. For this, I'm going to use 3. Going by the directions. You know, some people say, oh, you got to mix more of this or more of that or less of this or whatever. I'm just using what it says to do in the directions. Okay, so I'm going to use 3 teaspoons of this. All right, there's 3 teaspoons right to the top. All right, there you go. Next, I'm going to put the dye in. There you go. There's your dye. Shake it up. For this, it really doesn't matter what you put in. I'm going to put a little more in. People say you can't see it because you don't put enough in, so we'll put more in. All right. There you go. A lot of dye in there. Okay. That's it for the mixture. So let's put the hose on this and put 2 gallons of water in it. Get this cleared off. Let's see. All right, that's 2 gallons right there. Let's spray this off. Spray my hands off. Put the pumper in, and we're going to pump it up. Let's head down to the weed area. This is the area that I did last year that had absolutely no effect on it whatsoever. I finally got a lawn company out here. Within 2 days, the weeds started going. You can see the patches where they used to be. Oh, this was all weeds. Everything was weeds. They're all gone now. Weed company charged $125. If I'm not mistaken, the Tenacity was close to $100. You can see the area that I did. All right. So obviously you can see wherever the lawn is a different color. That's where I did. But let's take a look at the weeds. Well, seems to do a really good job on the grass, but I don't know. All right, that weed's gone. That weed's gone. None of those are gone. Gone. That one's gone. None of them gone. 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 Yeah. Oh, there we go. Looks good. Got a couple gone. All right. However, dead. Obviously kills those. Yeah, that one maybe. Certainly doesn't look like it's doing the job to me. Over here, again, this is a different kind of weed, but you know, got a few of them. Over here, tops of the weeds are gone, but not the bottoms. But hey, this is only 2 weeks. We're gonna give it a little more time. Yeah, nothing on those weeds. As I said, you can see the areas that I did. Yeah, here's some more. I don't see any dead weeds there. Don't see any dead weeds here. A lot of dead grass though. All right, here's some sort of dead. The rest aren't. Actually it looks like these weeds are flourishing. Over here, same thing. A lot of dead areas of grass, or almost dead. I suppose all this will come back. It did last year too. But I mean, as you can see, it's the same all over. So just to prove to the naysayers that I'm doing it a second time, let's start putting it on. Okay. Now you can, hopefully you're going to be able to see that it's green or blue. Alright. So, and they said that you need a bigger sprayer. Well, you know, that's not going to affect whether or not this stuff works or not. All that's going to do is make it go a little quicker. But I'm doing it slow, make sure I get all the weeds. And alright, so again, here's the ones I sprayed. I didn't spray those over there. I don't see much of a difference between this and this. But we'll keep on going. Now I'm going to come back in another 2 weeks. I'm going to put this in my calendar and we're going to take a look at it again. And we're going to see if Tenacity really does kill the weeds as good as it's advertised to do. I think I mentioned this before. They say, well, you know, you can put another type of weed killer in, I don't know, Speed Zone or whatever. But to me, that doesn't mean that Tenacity is killing weeds. That means that the other weed killer it is, whatever it is I put in, is killing the weeds. So, all right, so that's it for right now on this end. I'll continue doing the rest, but I think you all get the picture that it actually is being applied. It's being applied per the directions. All right, get this guy right here a couple times. Those should be simple to kill. All right, so that's all I'm going to do right now, and we're just going to see how this works. Stay tuned. Okay, so it's been a month since I initially put it on. It's today it's 80 degrees, and it's, look at the date here, the 5th, August 5th. So it's been a month since I originally put it on. It's been 2 weeks since the second application. So let's take a look at it. All right, so this is the area. Now I gotta say, it did kill most of these weeds. All right. However, it also killed my grass. So let's take a look at the areas where I didn't really, I mean, I really super put this stuff on. So let's take a look at some of the other areas. I think if you can look down here, you'll see where it's brown, which is obviously where I put it. Let's just take a look. All right. I don't see too many that are killed here. We'll come over here. Grass is all brown. Weeds are doing fine. All right. Again, if you just keep on looking. Let's look over here. Now I managed to kill the grass here too, but I killed most of the weeds. Not all of them, but you know, killed a pile of them in there, but I did a job on the grass. And as I said, we can look around and we can see where the grass is now dead. All right, over here, weeds are looking fine, grass not looking fine. Weeds looking fine, grass isn't looking too good. Go over here. Again, weeds are doing just dandy. Here's the weeds that are treated. Here's the weeds that aren't treated. They look pretty much the same to me. All right. Now, I also, again, over here, all right, this is all, the grass is pretty much dead. Weeds are doing just fine. Come over here. Yeah, I really can't tell. The grass is dead. I can't tell if the weeds went too. Okay, over here, looks like I got a few dead weeds in there. But for the most part, it's just the grass that's gone. So let's go over here. Oh, by the way, got a beaver in here chewing all the bark off this branch that fell down. Huge branch. And there's part of the branch right there. Looks more like a tree. Okay, so over here, I did some of those common weeds that you see. And right here, that's looking quite good. It's like a fertilizer. But over here, those look perfect. I think they love that Tenacity. Over here, it's starting to turn this a little white. Not doing too much to this stuff here, but okay, hey, look at this. We got one. We got a weed. It looks like it's dead. All right. So there you go. I did my other video. In the other video, I had basically the same results after a month, after 2 or 3 applications. Nothing changed. Had a lot of negative reviews on it, that it wasn't Tenacity's fault, it was my fault, I wasn't applying it right. So this time around, I wanted everybody to judge whether or not I'm putting it on right or I'm putting it on wrong. All I can say is that it's a great grass killer, but I can't say that much for the weeds. This whole area now is looking pretty bad. The weeds are looking good, but everything else is looking pretty bad. So, you be the judge. You think I'm doing it wrong? Leave me another comment, but I don't know what else I can do right. I tried to document everything this time around. I got some nice little geese out here. There we go. Very calm. Okay, so that's it. It is starting to rain now, so I'm going to finish this up and you be the judge. Thanks for watching. As they say, like and subscribe.